Hey guys, Jackson Buhai here with TMZ with an interesting update to the Nick Reiner case. So as I'm sure you all know, Nick Reiner is currently waiting to stand trial for the deaths of his parents Rob and Michelle Reiner, as he's been accused of killing them. When the public received the news that Nick Reiner was accused of the murders and taken to jail, the public was quite obviously outraged, as Rob Reiner is a world-renowned director and producer. Now, when Nick Reiner was suspected and then subsequently arrested, one of the country's top criminal defense attorneys gets the call, and this criminal defense attorney was Alan Jackson. Now, if you don't know him, Alan Jackson is a criminal defense attorney who has defended the likes of Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein, and he is essentially one of the best criminal defense attorneys that money can buy. Now, let me take you back to last week on January 7th. It was a huge day for the Nick Reiner case. Hundreds of people surrounded the courtroom as Nick Reiner was supposed to be arraigned and then officially charged for the murder of his parents. Now, we had producers in that courtroom, and what they told us with regards to what Nick's lawyer said is truly shocking. At the very last minute, Nick's criminal defense attorney, Alan Jackson, pulled out of representing him entirely.
As you know, my name is Alan Jackson. This morning, I had to withdraw as Nick Reiner's counsel. Circumstances beyond our control, but more importantly, circumstances beyond Nick's control, have dictated that, sadly, it's made it impossible for us to continue our representation of Nick. We've investigated this matter top to bottom, back to front. What we've learned, and you could take this to the bank, pursuant to the laws of this state, pursuant to the law in California, Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder.
What a lot of people have been wondering for a long time is why exactly Alan Jackson did pull out of representing him. Well, in this clip I'm about to show you from Billy Bush's podcast, Hot Mics with Billy Bush, he addresses all the public's rumors as to exactly why he did what he did.
If it deflects off on me, then...
Why would he represent Harvey Weinstein? Why would you do anything with that man? Or Spacey, if they feel, Kevin Spacey, if they feel that way.
Every single person, every citizen in this country is entitled, before they are committed, right? Before they are committed to a prison cell, before they're committed to a conviction, before they're committed to a trial, every single citizen has the exact same series of constitutional rights, and they are embedded in the fabric of our society. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you're accused of. The government has to get it right every single time.
So again, his views are crystal clear. It doesn't matter if you're Harvey Weinstein or Kevin Spacey, or even Nick Reiner in this case. Constitutional rights aren't reserved for the popular or the sympathetic. They are for everybody. And when the government wants to put you behind bars for the rest of your life, they better have every single detail perfect. And that's the standard. Alan Jackson walks you through what happens. Obviously, the Reiners unfortunately get murdered, and from Alan Jackson's perspective, he gets the call, and here's what happened. Let's roll the clip.
I got the call. I was in New York at the time on another case, and I got the call in the very, very early morning hours of the 15th. It was just hours into the circumstances.
Was the person on the other end of the phone call, this was, we want, as tragic as the event is, we want to help our brother too?
Again, I can't, I don't mean to be coy, and I know you got to ask the questions, and a lot of people are interested, but I have to show fealty and loyalty to the confidentiality that attends that kind of phone call, that kind of communication. I can tell you that immediately thereafter, I dropped everything. I sent out a notice to my team here back in Los Angeles.
So, for 3 weeks, Jackson and his entire legal team worked around the clock on this case, and then on arraignment day, something shocking happens. He walks away, and people were asking why, and what information did Jackson have that made him want to step down from the case? People were wondering, was it because he felt he didn't have a good enough case? Was it an unwinnable case? Was it something else? As people online have speculated, was it because Nick suddenly couldn't afford Jackson's retainer's fee?
So the big question everybody's wanting to know the answer to is, why did you step away?
That's a confidential communication between a lot of folks that I'm not willing to disclose.
Is it a money thing?
You can't say that. You can't say that, Billy. You can't say that something happened with the retainer, because I've never said that. So I don't want you to put that.
No? I mean, not like the actual retainer number, but the retention of you.
Right. So obviously something happened with my ability and my team's ability to continue the representation. But I don't want you, your audience, anybody else to start speculating as to what that might be. I have not said a
That's what
word
people
about
do.
it.
They speculate. That's all.
Yeah, that's what they do.
You have to wonder, where does he stand on the case now? Because now he's in a position, right, where he can be a little bit more impartial to it. But what's interesting here is that Alan Jackson, like I showed you in the clip before, he stands firm on his position. He still believes that Nick Reiner is not guilty. Now, what we have been reporting for a very long time, because we're referencing, obviously, our sources that say that Nick Reiner had issues with mental health, he had issues with substance abuse. It's highly likely, and look, we don't know this for sure, but it's highly likely that Nick Reiner is going to plead not guilty by reason of insanity. This doesn't satisfy a lot of people. A lot of people believe that this isn't actually a substantial case or an argument. He should just plead guilty and go to prison for it.
There's plenty of cases where someone is going through something really tough mentally, does something completely out of character, regrets it the rest of their life, and never looks to offend it. That does exist, so we've got to be open-minded about that possibility if it goes that way. Maybe it doesn't go that way, and it's first-degree murder, and it's clear that, and it doesn't matter what he was going through. It's clear. Maybe it goes the other way, and he gets, life in prison.
We're highly interested to know, what do you guys believe in the comments? We read the comments every single day. So if you think that not guilty by reason of insanity is a substantial plea, please let us know. But if you don't, obviously, you feel free to make your argument in the comments down below. Now, the case is in the hands of public defender Kimberly Green. Jackson has said that he has a lot of faith in the public defender's office. He says he has a lot of faith in Kimberly Green and a lot of faith in their representation. He has called them, quote, outstanding legal professionals.
So Nick was sat towards the back of the room, but he looked rather calm. He stayed seated for the majority of the time, did stand up to speak with Alan as he was introducing him to the new defense attorney, Kimberly Green. He looked pretty pleased. He was very calm and stoic. Alan Jackson had been talking to him, and he received some sort of information that he was in agreement with. It seemed like that he took the transition very well with this new public defender.
But Billy Bush asked the million-dollar question, can Jackson come back to the case?
Once a case is in the hands of a public defender, can it come out?
Once I'm done, I'm done. I've withdrawn. That's all I can say. I've withdrawn.
So there you have it. Alan Jackson believes Nick Reiner is not guilty under California law, but something made him walk away after 3 weeks of intense preparation, and he'll likely be holding on to that information, publicly at least, for a very, very long time. So guys, what do you think happened? Drop your theories in the comments below. Was it family drama? Was it legal conflict? Something we haven't even considered? And make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because this case is just getting started, and we'll be covering every single twist and turn. As always, I'm Jackson Buhai, and I will see you in the next one.